and when you were young or not. I think there's something in this game for everyone. Even you can see the clip as well. There's a lot of things happening. It's a really rich world. Basically, the story of the game, you might have sort of seen a little bit, is that Shovel Knight went around, you know, fighting crime, or at least keeping the denizens of dark at bay with his partner Shield Knight.
Yep.
And basically, unfortunately, he lost Shield Knight in this dark tower that he's trying to make his way to, and he's got to find her again, because he sort of went into a life of reclusion after losing her. But what happened is, with him absent, the rest of the world started to get out of control and the bad guys started appearing. So here we go. We're going to be into this one. Of course, there are your teams in front of you. I think it's going to be one player per team playing this one. We've already seen Tweede, sorry. Yep. I think Give Me a Name is playing. Cura Lily for Italy is playing. We're about to get
there we go.
underway.
Yeah, the blow of the whistle, just signifying the start here. And as you can see, already starting the runoff now. Different teams will have different strategies here. Will they go for the speed run that this is looking quite reminiscent of, or will they go to collect every single gem as possible? This one looks very quick, very to the point, and not messing around and just getting the job done. That's right.
So the first stage, up until about the third checkpoint of this map, is fairly easy. You can use the bubbles here to bounce up on top of them, easily done. So whoever's played this is a French team here, so they have a bit of confidence about them.
They have a good understanding, I feel. They look quite competent.
First checkpoint there too.
Yeah, failing a little on the ladder then. Could cost them a couple of seconds if you are going for that very swift speed run, but nevertheless making up for it, following well off the back.
Definitely has to conserve that health as much as possible now. Those spikes will kill you straight away, though it's not like Mario where you can sort of, I think, get away with it. Yeah. This dragon, you've actually got to bounce over him. He's doing, look at that, perfect. Beautiful. It can be really hard to deal with. You can bounce on the bubbles, but it took me a long time to sort of understand how to deal with that.
You can tell the difference between a player who's played this and one who's just kind of coming in new to it. There's certain little tricks and
tips. Can open that up? Brilliant.
Beautifully done. There we go. Collecting on the way as well, so not doing too badly. This is the Polish side.
And that's also a bit of an indicator. Later in the game, you see some parts of Earth like that you can optionally break, and you have to notice them here. A little bit of damage being done. The Polish team is definitely taking the speed aspect of speedrun in here, but definitely wants to have as much life as possible before going up against the boss.
Yeah, and a little further behind is the British side. A little low on life, though. You've got to be cautious in this one. Nicely taken on the end. Not
opting for the left side of the screen. There was an optional part of Earth that could be broken up for some extra points. So I'll be interested to see what the Germans decide to do about that, if they go in that direction. This dragon's pretty easy. There's actually a full... ooh, that's not good.
That's
in that little serving dish, there's food that'll take you back to full health. So the British are relegated back to that first checkpoint, have to run it again.
Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy slip up there, and not really... Oh, again, not a great display just yet, but let's see how Spain's getting on.
Not too bad at all. Past that checkpoint, and actually not too far at all from the boss here. Got to proceed a little bit further.
Very nice.
Crisp, very crisp movements.
Yeah, clinical play coming out, it looks like, from the Spanish, who seems to have a plan. Oh, getting caught out a little bit then, but navigating it well.
That's all you have to do, just go over the top of him here. This one, the only tough part about this screen is that little platform. It's not big, but if you're reasonably coordinated, you can make your way there. And this one here can take some time breaking through these blocks. You can either go directly through or try and gain as much as you can. Now, the Italians are very close.
Yeah, they're certainly not too far
away. Straight through. Watch out. They can hide in the bushes there.
Yeah, they certainly found that out the hard way, but have retained a good portion of life here. Not looking like it's cost them too much, and well, navigating out in the end. But looks like they're playing it well.
The last checkpoint here coming up, and it's time for the boss fight. It's the first boss fight.
There we go.
Here it is, the Black Knight. You can see he carries a shovel, not unlike the Shovel Knight. We're going to skip through the text, of course, because this is a speed run. Now, look out for him, because his jumping attack is quite hard, and he's also already...
Someone's completed. Wow, who was this?
That was the French.
French boys. Wow, considering they are already very toward the top of this table, this is a very big scoreline, closely followed as well. I believe that's the Polish team coming in now.
It is. No, that's the first level, of course, by you have to strike that final blow to that boss. And so the Germans have been a little bit further behind here. That was maybe...
But the Germans were taking their time.
That was the point.
They wanted to go on this. They won't be one of the quicker ones to finish this. They're trying to collate as much en route as possible. Give Me a Name still playing away for the Brits as well. Not sure if their plan is to collate all, but they did have that trouble earlier. They did actually get killed and resent back. We're going to see the second player now switch in, but... I think we'll have to wait for everyone to complete, but still, I think the Germans have just completed their test. Tweede's up. So, not too far behind anyway, so fairly close overall.
Okay, so we didn't really get to see too many of those teams will actually fight in the boss, because it's not an easy fight, that first one. He does have those 6 sort of circles of health. You can see here, we're opting for controllers. It's a little bit easier to play Shovel Knight. Otherwise, you use the WASD and J and K keys. Yeah,
it took me a while to work out the J and K key. Decided, you know, I'm a competent gamer. I don't need to read the controls. Probably should have. That was a good 10 minutes sitting going, this game's very weird. I can jump, but not much more.
Give Me a Name is still catching
Boiling
up, I
away.
think.
Yeah. Zonda just judging from above. And I think we've got Isaac now in place, so he's going to be sitting in for the Polish team after they completed, I believe, almost in second place to France in the first stage. Still, they do have time to go to, as you mentioned, the village, I do believe, and see what they want to invest towards going into the final stages.
Yeah, some items to be bought there, some that can make life a little bit easier for you. It helps you to take out some of those mods, some of those mobs from afar, which is probably one of the most important things. They're called relics, of course, in Shovel Knight. Things like the Flare Wand is what I was referring to before. You can get the Phase Locket, even the Dust Knuckles. So, you know, some good items to be picked up here. You won't get the Phase Locket until very much towards the end of the game, but even the Triple Chalice you can buy in the village.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
But we'll have to see who's been able to kind of collate enough to be able to invest towards this as well. It will become very apparent once we get into the later stages of this. Apparently it can vary the speed enough that it warrants a change in tactic on the first level. But the English team, very slow in completing that. Give Me a Name, taking his time. Not sure if it was something they actually wanted to do or if it was more something that was forced upon them in this by a lack of maybe understanding in comparison to the other players of this game so far. Because you've got to say, the French team looked extraordinarily competent.
Absolutely. What I want to see is if teams decide to go in the direction of the fishing rod. They want to sort of it's really good actually. You can buy it in the first village, and you can. Some pits in the game are actually sparkly.
Oh, are they?
Sparkly pits. And if you cast a fishing rod in there, you can bring out a fish that can give you more money, or something even a bit nicer.
I was trying to think of like a Twilight joke with Edward involved, you know, sparkly. But
didn't really give you too much to work with, really.
Never do, Mitch. Never do.
My bad.
At least I was insulting as Toby was. I was just flat insults. By the end of it, I was like, I'm a little scared now.
It was interesting conversations.
There was some flame there, man. But no, he's you know, the guy's got talent. Mostly abusing me. He's a gifted young man.
Yeah, it's like doesn't really need practice for that. No, it is a sign of talent.
No. The English team look ready. You can see Spamfish there. I think just. Hopping around a little bit, keeping the fingers nimble.
So everyone's getting serious. Everyone's got their the video logging software out, hardware as well, of course. There's GoPros being used. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, look how many vlogs are going on right now. This is disgraceful. this is
unashamed right now.
Not Zoe. Zoe's fine. Zoe can do what she wants. You know, we like Zoe. Zoe can vlog to her heart's content. But as you can see, it's almost time to go. Every single player focused up, hands off so far. They have to keep their hands off. And now it's game time, getting ready for this one now. The vlogger's getting close up in the action, and we are back into this one now.
We're up on the second level here. This is the King Knight's Castle. A lot trickier, even ostensibly, actually, to go through. Those guys will run you through, but you can jump over them fairly easily. And actually waiting there for that lava to come down. Could have actually pushed through. This one a little bit trickier. Have to hide in a little alcove and get across.
Nicely navigated in the end, going through there. Really exploring this well, and seemed to keep it quite trim. And beautiful play coming out so far from the, I believe, the kind of mixed Scandinavian kind of mixture of flags so far. I'm not sure who's actually playing from the quite see from here, but looking very competent in this.
No items picked up for the Nords in the village. They're happy to go.
They're going in.
They did get that extra point of health.
Now, this is what I'm interested in. What items would they have gone for here for the German side?
None.
None.
Now there was he could have got a health boost up there. This knight is a little bit harder to fight. He actually has mechanics, but you can dodge him quite easily. So there's no point just hang around and fight him.
Yeah, these guys were now aiming for the speed run here purely. So not going to pick up every item, as you said, skipping out on the health. So this is a pure speed run for them. And wow.
No.
It almost showed. It almost
showed. Jump on that one. There we go. Yeah, the chandeliers will drop. You got to be careful. Now, if you go in that room towards the left, that's where you get the flare wand, if you want to go that way. A little bit tricky to get there, though. We're going to push straight through. That is a bomb under there. Oh, not always. For me, it was. Oh, damn it. That was an apple. So another checkpoint done. We are pushing straight on through
Very
here.
nice. German side seem very happy here.
So we've just jumped
Actually,
across
the French are ahead.
They've just dealt with the Griffin there, and that's a little bit tricky. You've got to bounce over the top of it like you would the Dragon, but it shoots out these fireballs in like a sine wave pattern, as it were.
And the French are making this just look sublime, I've got to say. They are so well versed in this. Speedrun was what was being aimed for by the German boys. Oh, a little bit of an error then.
You got to drop down, you got to let them come at you and then jump. It was a little bit premature, and you can quite easily bypass that guy. Now this room's a bit tricky. You've got to bounce downwards on the book and onto the platforms. They know exactly how it's done. You have to do it again in this room as well. It gets a little bit tricky. Now we're going to jump back to the British.
Not
doing too bad. Treacherous, that one. Now, you see that didn't pick up the extra point of health back in the city. That might cost them because you can get it really easily if you pick up... if you pick up enough relics, I think it was something similar. So they're still on 4 points of health and they're going to miss the first one.
Struggling a little there.
Kind of had the right idea.
Yeah, they certainly did. It's just a little sloppier. The French seem a little smoother in this one. Oof. And they're kind of being a little bit more rough and tumble here, and it might cost them.
Oh, dear. Back to that second checkpoint. We've flicked across the Italians now, who, to be fair, are a little behind them at this stage. Should have enough time to get across before they expire, and we'll navigate it through the lava.
Yep. Progressing well so far. The Italians didn't make the big impact in the first round. Over here, keeping up with the French. Kind of curious how the Polish are doing, considering they were in the second place previously, finishing off the first very quickly.
Well, this is a little bit tough to navigate. You can jump through it. There's a bit of invulnerability after you get hit. So this is good. This is really, really good for the Italians there. You see the navigator, they didn't stop for too much health now. And here is the King Knight.
The French have done this already. That is absolutely phenomenal. So we've got the French and the Germans finishing off almost straight after each other here.
Yeah, wow. Look at that.
And the Spanish, I think.
That's a long fight. King Knight has 10 health circles.
Maybe for you, eh?
Yeah, well, obviously for me. That was very well played. So the Spaniards finding a bit of form here. This is good. I think this is the Polish here, so they're still a little bit further back.
Surprise. Maybe Isaac not quite up to par as the first runner for the Poles. We saw that the first time around that actually Poland finished second to the French.
Yeah, this time, we actually fell foul of some of that lava. It will really hurt. If he falls, he's dead. He will get up at least.
Nice to
It'd be nice we get to see. We won't get to see the fight against the King Knight. It's a shame, but it's fun. It is fun. So very, very quick, and this is where the Spanish have really brought it back. We know they've been languishing at the bottom of the ladder for most of the day.
This will really save them a lot here.
And we'll have to see how it all comes out. Obviously, it's going to take a while for us to tally the points and confirm a real winner. And that's just a small glimpse, I guess, of the lovely game that is Shovel Knight. It's a lot of fun. You should really get your hands on it if you can on Steam. I had to download it to sort of get it and learn a bit about it, but I'm glad I did. And I'll be playing it later on, there's no doubt. Yeah,
I certainly feel the same way. I'd love to give it a little speed run into this, see if I can get it going pretty fast, but these guys seem extraordinarily on point, some of them. I'm so far so impressed what the French boys have achieved, even in comparison to the others. Yeah, a bit of a tricky situation they're going through that Griffin.
Yeah, for the Nordic guys, just having a look at that last room, they went back and got all the food. They didn't really need to. The point is to speed run at this stage. So this is it. This is the fight, and it was tough for me. I kind of struggled. A lot of jumping around from this guy. You definitely need to stay airborne for as long as you can. You're pretty hard to hit when you got the downward shovel in, but he's just a brawler, the King Knight. Basically, you actually find the actual king of the land. You see him in the tavern in the village, and he's like, "Oh, the King Knight has taken my castle over." So this is the guy. He's one of the Enchantress's minions, and this is good. This is a great way to do it.
That's nice. That was really.
Watch out for those things in the air, though.
Yeah, be careful.
He likes a bit of a fanfare. He dashes across as well, so you've got to really be on point for that. And tough.
Not easy. Not easy.
Finishes off with the
boss
body
for the
slam.
reason. But still, a very, very nice performance coming out from most. I think just about everyone's finished up now. Controllers are down. But yeah, so far to me, I think this was a outstanding performance from the French side. Really able to just spank this one through first, in the first run of it as well, the first stage, and then in the second.
Yeah, 2 consistent runs. You can see they're quite experienced, the French side. And bear in mind here, it's 2 separate players playing on each of those maps. And it's nice to see a good consistency between them. You saw, I think, a glimpse of the best way to take down bosses, or at least the King Knight in Shovel Knight as well, is just getting the downward shovel, using it like a pogo stick, trying to stay out of harm's reach and It's not a bad way to do it, but that was quicker than I expected. I don't think we didn't really see much of the French until after they sort of managed to take down the boss. So, you know, well, kudos to them.
Well, I do believe all of these players are either streaming right now or recording it, so you'll be able to see their perspectives later on down the line. So if you are a fan of some of these teams or some of these players, do make sure to check out their YouTube channels, their Twitch streams for this sort of content.